So, take a look at your book once again. If you take a look at page 11, take a close look. This is where we're going to start, and we're going to go all the way down to get done with the initiating process group, and then we're going to go into planning and executing, monitoring, controlling, and closing. So all of these that you're seeing here, those are the 47 processes that we have to talk about in more detail as we proceed in the course. So, first of all, we have the develop project charter process right here. Develop project charter. That's all about developing the project charter that authorizes the project. That is in the initiating process group. This is the cornerstone. This is the first thing that you do on any project. You develop the project charter. The project is identified, authorized, and the project manager is also identified here. We call that develop project charter. Okay? The next process, all the way down here. And that process, we're going to call that identify stakeholders. And that's the identify stakeholders process. And that really concludes initiating. If you take a look at the book, you see that's it for initiating. Now, let's move down to the planning process group. In the planning process group, the first process that you encounter is in integration, and it has to do with putting together a big plan. And that process is called Develop Project Management Plan. The Develop Project Management Plan process, being that it's an integration, is going to deal with taking everything that you're seeing here, taking all of the different processes and coordinating them to come out with a final big plan. Because all of these knowledge areas have plans. This process is the process in which we put all of the different plans from all of these knowledge areas, as you'll see, together. The next process within scope management is called Plan Scope Management, which is putting together a scope management plan. Putting together a plan for how scope will be managed on the project in totality. The next process is called Collect Requirements. I'm just going to refer to that as CR for Collect Requirements. Collect Requirements is all about putting the requirements together. The next process here is called Define Scope. We refer to that as DS. Now, Define Scope is putting together a document called the Project Scope Statement together, and this is a document that identifies the inclusions on the project and the exclusions of the project. And the next one, still within planning, is called Create WBS. The work breakdown structure is a high-level breakdown, or in some cases, a detailed breakdown of the project in a graphical format in which the team can see what needs to be done in the project, but in a graphical format. There's an example of this on page 68. We'll cover that in detail when we get there, but that's a WBS for you. Moving into the next knowledge area, but within planning, you see the next knowledge area, but within planning, we refer to this as time management. And the first thing we do is put together a schedule management plan. We call that process plan schedule management. The next process here is called define activities. This is where we identify the tasks, which are the smaller levels of work that need to be done. This is where we identify the tasks to be done on the project. The next process is called sequence activities, which is putting the activities in order. The next process is estimate activity resources, which is estimating how many resources you have for the project. The next process is estimate activity durations, which is estimating how long an activity will take. You estimate how long all the activities will take. We call that estimate activity durations. And the last one here is called develop schedule. Now you can see why I had to abbreviate it, because there's so much information in these boxes. Going into cost management, the first process is called plan cost management. This is where we come out with a cost management plan, a plan for how cost will be managed on the project. The next process is estimate cost, and this is where we estimate how much each activity will cost on the project. And then the next one is called determine budget. And that means we're going to roll up all of the different activity cost estimates into a final total to understand how much is needed for the whole project. We call that determine budget. Going into the next knowledge area, quality management. In quality management, we first of all plan quality management. PQM, plan quality management, put together a quality management plan. The next thing we do within the next knowledge area, human resource management, is we plan human resource management and refer to that as plan HM, PHM, plan human resource management. And that means we put together a plan for how to manage resources, human resources, on the project. The next knowledge area, we have plan communications management. You can see that the terms are becoming more predictable for the first process in any of these knowledge areas. So plan communications management is number 7 under planning. Under number 8, risk management, we have quite a number of processes, and I talked about these in more detail earlier, so hopefully you can follow. We have plan risk management. We have identify risks, identifying the risks. We have perform qualitative risk analysis. We have perform quantitative risk analysis. We also have plan risk responses, which I'm going to try to squeeze in, and belongs to that up there. So there's quite a number of things within risk management in planning that needs to be done. And perform qualitative risk analysis is putting together a risk analysis in a qualitative fashion, either by qualitatively analyzing the risk as high, medium, or low, and quantitative risk analysis, on the other hand, is putting a dollar amount, a euro amount, a yen amount, a currency figure to quantify those risks in some currency or maybe in some resource hours or other measurable forms. Project procurement management, the first one under that is called plan procurement management, and under stakeholder management we have plan stakeholder management. So at a high level, you can see that what we're trying to achieve in the planning process group is really have a plan for all of these knowledge areas to fully understand how are we going to manage scope, time, cost, quality, human resources, communications, risk, procurement, and stakeholder management. And then we get all of these different plans from planning, and these become, the sum of those becomes the project management plan, which is put together in the develop project management plan process. So our end goal in planning is to really come out with a project management plan. And if you watch the DVD, if you watch the Time Machine Project DVD, you remember that scene when they put together all of the different binders and folders to create the final project management plan. What they were doing was aggregating all of these different outputs and putting them together. So watch that scene again, the project management plan scene, and it will make more sense what they were trying to put together. Okay? So that's it for planning, which is by far the biggest of them all as far as the process groups are concerned. If you count the number of processes, we've got 24 of them, 24 processes in planning. That is quite a lot compared to the 2 in initiating.